Hi, my name is Zena.
Hi, I'm Amaris, and this is the Sidewalk Senate podcast. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Sidewalk Senate podcast. I'm Amaris.
I'm Zena.
And today we are going to talk about this panoramic that is affecting all of us, and one of the major talking points that has come out of 2021 thus far, which is the COVID-19 vaccine. And a lot of us have been skeptical about the vaccine. A lot of us have been excited to receive the vaccine. A lot of us are still in two minds about the vaccine. So we felt as though we should share some pertinent information pertaining to the vaccine and answer some of the questions that we know a lot of the people have, but they will not take it upon themselves to do the research. So yes,
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get into, we're starting from the basics. So when we finish, you'll have no excuse to be having wrong information, right?
Exactly.
Like the very basics. So we're going to get into what is a vaccine. So vaccination is a simple and safe and effective way. I'm reading straight from the WHO website, by the way. I got this from WHO, right? Vaccination is a simple, safe, and effective way of protecting people against harmful diseases before they come into contact with them. It uses your body's natural defenses to build resistance to specific infections and makes your immune system stronger. Vaccines train your immune system to create antibodies just as it does when it's exposed to disease. All right, let me just break this down even simpler. So what the vaccine does. All right, so what happens when you get in, let's say it's a cold, right? You get infected with the cold and your body is going to recognize this foreign, what you call it? Is it an antigen or antibody?
I think it's an antibody. Well, bio wasn't my strong suit in school.
No, we need to figure out what it is. Anyway, your body is going to recognize this foreign, let's call it a particle, and it's going to say, hey, what is this? And then your immune system now is going to attack that. What happens with the vaccine is that they are going to introduce a weakened version of the virus. This is some vaccines, not all vaccines work like this, but in general, a weakened version of the virus. So you're not actually going to get sick, but you may have symptoms. You may get a mild fever, you might get a slight headache, you might get some body aches. And what your body is going to do now is build up antibodies to fight off that virus, right, or that particle, because we were calling it a particle before, right?
Yeah.
And these antibodies stay. So when the real virus comes along, with the full-blown dose, you already have your antibodies stored up to fight it off. So that's what happens, right? So what they do, they help you to build up antibodies beforehand. So when you come into contact with the disease, you're able to fight it off.
Right.
That's that, right? Most vaccines are given by injection, you'll know that. Some are given orally or sprayed into the nose.
I personally find they should give you all orally, because the injection thing is no vibes. I hate injection.
Well, the injection don't bother me, and I'm assuming that orally it don't even taste good, and
I don't care.
I'm not drinking that. I could take 10 injections. We don't have a problem with that.
Kill.
What's the next
It's had to
topic?
call ambulance for me when I take an injection.
What's the next topic?
The next thing, general effects of vaccines.
So as I stated before, the general effects of vaccine will be a mild headache, you might get body aches, very mild fever, you may have a few flu-like symptoms, you will have soreness or redness at the site of the vaccination if it was an injection. Simple stuff that you could deal with, which are generally the types of symptoms that people who have already taken the COVID vaccine, this is the type of symptoms that they are experiencing, nothing out of the ordinary. So when you all see articles talking about, oh my gosh, these people, I took the vaccine and I had fever for 3 days, that is normal.
Exactly.
When you got the measles injection when you was 6 years old in first year and they're lining up in school, you probably can't remember, you did get sick. When you were a baby and you got your vaccines, you did get sick.
Exactly. And
that
that's
is a
the
normal thing.
Because people with children, are the ones saying, oh, look, this one getting sick and wherever. But when you vaccinate your baby at 6 or 8 months or 9 months or whatever, most babies just get fever and things. So
yeah, it's a normal thing, and it's really the process of your body fighting it off and building its antibodies.
Yeah.
So
it's nothing too alarming, to be quite honest. And I'm sure if you speak with the majority of persons, especially those locally who would have taken the vaccine, they would give you the same kind of feedback. So people, all of you all panicking because of fevers and colds and chills, you all need to pat down.
Right.
Right, okay. So the next thing that we would like to talk to you all about is something that we know is a question that a lot of people have been asking. Which vaccines have been approved by WHO, the World Health Organization, for use across the world in the different countries? And even though there are many vaccines that are currently being processed and they are currently going through vetting by WHO, so far the WHO has approved 4 vaccines. They have approved Pfizer, they have approved SK Bio AstraZeneca, the Oxford AstraZeneca, which is being produced by the Serum Institute of India, and they have also approved the Janssen vaccine. So if anybody comes, Trinidadians just find a way to get contraband all how. If anybody comes and introduces any other vaccine to you and tell you that they're selling it on the low and don't tell the government,
you're on your own.
You're on your own, because those outside of those 4 that I just named, no other vaccine has yet been approved by WHO. So, take anything else at your own risk, people.
That includes all the bush medicine that's all they're cooking up in all your house. It's not even sure to work.
Girl, I don't mind the bush medicine, to be quite honest with you, because, okay, slight segue, when chikungunya was like rampant, I literally know people who drink pawpaw leaf tea.
And it work?
And they bounce back like normal. Drink orange peel tea, they bounce back. Drink garlic tea, they bounce back. I mean, you can't go wrong with bush. And the basis of all medication is some plant anyway.
They just extract the harmful parts. But I'm just saying, okay, it isn't. What I'm trying to get at is, you drink your bush medicine, but don't think, you're not sure if it's going to work. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't know.
Enough.
And the dosage might be too low.
Yeah.
You might know, or you might drink too much and something else might happen. You don't know, right?
Yeah. We need to be careful out here. So, as we have noticed with the whole process of vaccination in the world, actually, there seems to be a lot of issues popping up and a lot of controversy surrounding just simply obtaining the vaccine. And there seems to be the theory that Trinidadians and Tobagonians have been touting, some of them, that the vaccine is actually really, really difficult for us to get, and it's because of our government or because of the way that we are portrayed on the world stage, or for whatever other crazy reason people would have come up with in their head. So we have really done some research, and we have been keeping up with world news, as all of you should. Right? And to be quite honest with you all, the problems that we are facing in Trinidad and Tobago in terms of obtaining the vaccine is not much different from the problems that a lot of countries are experiencing around the world. And Zena?
Yeah, it's nothing unique. It's definitely not a unique situation. And not just for COVID, but for other pandemics that have happened, or other times when we've had to get vaccines for other diseases. It's nothing new.
Yeah, because from my talks with persons in the medical field, I have asked them, what is usually the process for obtaining a vaccine or a batch of vaccines to be distributed in a country? Say, for instance, the flu shots or yellow fever or any other vaccine that is widely distributed. And usually we obtain our vaccines through PAHO. But because of how serious the COVID-19 crisis is, we have been having our governments, individual governments, doing a little more by going to going to approach WHO and the different companies to obtain vaccines, in addition to PAHO also carrying out their own efforts. So, it's sad to see that people are really running with this myth.
Buying into controversy.
Yeah, and I mean, in a time as serious as this
Conspiracy
popsicle,
theories.
come on, we need to do better. We need to make sure that the information that we are consuming is accurate information, and we also need to do our part to understand that, we are all in this together. It's not something that Trinidad and Tobago alone is experiencing. So,
Correct.
just yesterday I was reading some world news, and I was really looking at I was thinking about this topic, and I was looking at the effects of having to buy vaccines in different countries and different regions. And I was reading that in Indonesia and in the Philippines, their COVID numbers are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They have like up to 2,000 cases a day of people getting COVID. And imagine, with that rampant rate of infection, they are still having the same issue that we are having to obtain vaccines, because they, one, are not very rich countries, and they're also not bigger countries. So, imagine for us with a population of just 1.4 million, if they have millions of people, and they imagine in Indonesia, 500,000 persons have COVID. Have been infected with COVID. 500,000.
Yeah, wow.
And they are having the same issue that we are having to obtain vaccines. You understand?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a crisis across the board, not just for Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. So in the Caribbean, one of the ways that we are in the Eastern Caribbean sourcing the vaccine, well, it's not just the Caribbean, a few other countries as well, but I'm speaking to the Caribbean, is through the COVAX facility, right? And COVAX is a program that has been launched by World Health Organization and also a few other organizations. They came together and they put together this program to help with the equitable access of the vaccine. So what it does, it helps countries that do not have the financial ability to buy the vaccine. It helps to lobby in that way, and it also helps, like, even if you're a larger country and you do have the finances, but you just haven't made any agreements, or you haven't reached out to any of the manufacturers in order to source the vaccine, they kind of do that on your behalf and help, speed up the process so that you'll be able to have access to the vaccines.
Right.
So the COVAX facility, a few countries in the Eastern Caribbean have signed agreements with the COVAX facility. The usual players: Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, I think Antigua, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis. So we have signed to this agreement, and they, excuse me, and they would be able to supply the countries with the vaccine once it is available. So I think the last updates for Trinidad was that we would be able to get it sometime in May.
Right.
I think that was the last thing I read.
Okay.
Some countries were able to get, I won't say like they didn't get the vaccine, but they were promised that they would be able to get the vaccine. I think that was Barbados. And in the meantime, until it's manufactured, so they were promised that they would get vaccines. And I think Jamaica has already received vaccines through the COVAX program. So that's how we fight in it on the Eastern Caribbean side, through the COVAX, because we are the smaller countries, which you know.
Yeah.
So the larger countries, they're going to step over us in the line. So the COVAX is there. I think it's WHO, UNICEF, and another organization from France. They came together and they came up with this program to help the other countries.
Okay, so just to kind of further break down what Zena said, think of it this way. Let's say that you're going to secondary school or you're going to primary school, and you want to go to the cafeteria at lunchtime, and it's your first week of school, or you want to go at break time, and break time is only 15 minutes, and you can't afford to reach late for
You're
that
talking
would be
about
fourth
convents, or-
period. You can't afford to reach the fourth period late after break time. So you standing up in the cafeteria, and then all the Form 5s and Form 6s just seeing you, and you smaller
Shrugging
than
you.
them, so they're pushing you aside.
Yeah.
And of course, the people in the cafeteria know them because they've been going to the school for however long. So of course, when they're shouting out, can I have XYZ? They will obviously give it to them because they are bigger and they are well known. So it's a similar situation we're experiencing in terms of getting the vaccines from the manufacturers. They would obviously give first to the countries that are bigger, so they are ordering millions of vaccines as opposed to us ordering
Some
like
are
a
also-
couple million.
I just wanted, some are also ordering in excess.
Yeah.
Which is very unfair.
Of
but
course.
of course they don't care. But they're
Yeah.
ordering much more than they actually need.
Right, and then to the manufacturers, at the end of the day, they want to end off the year in the black. So whoever is going to ensure that their profits are maximized is who they would be given first preference to.
Yep.
So I think that we need to look at it from that perspective so that we'll get a greater understanding of why we are kind of being sidelined a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. And why the COVAX facility is so important in terms of allowing us to be able to have a fighting chance in obtaining vaccines for our citizens. All right, so even so, like, all right, so all of us in the Caribbean, essentially, as CARICOM members and CARICOM states, as well as other countries, we are enrolled in the COVAX program. There have still been instances where, you know, it seems as though Trinidad and Tobago is kind of lagging behind. So in terms of that, the major difference that people are overlooking and are not taking into consideration is the fact that our CARICOM neighbors, namely Barbados and Jamaica, they would have received vaccines as gifts. And out of their gift, that is where we in Trinidad and Tobago were able to get the first batch of vaccinations that would have been given to our healthcare workers. We didn't get any gift from anybody.
And I just want to say something too.
Yeah.
For instance, the AstraZeneca vaccine that we did get as a gift from Barbados, that was only approved by the World Health Organization on the 15th of February. But Barbados had the vaccine before it was approved. And the way that our government is doing is that they are not going to start lobbying for a vaccine until they are sure it is approved
Right.
by the World Health Organization.
Right.
So some of these countries, yes, they received it as gifts, but they got it before it was even approved. Some of them received it, I think, as early as the 8th of February, which is a week before. I mean, and at that point, I mean, after the fact, you could say, well, it was just a week early, but
Yeah.
on the 8th of February, it could have gone anyway.
Yeah.
It could have gone
Yeah.
anyhow. It could have not been approved. So that was really what happened, was that we were waiting to see if it would be approved first. And of course, now we have to join the long line of with all the other countries that have waited to wait on the WHO approval.
Right, and the thing is it's simply a matter of our government basically crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's.
Because you know what, they would have, if let's say they went ahead and they say, well, let's put in an order for this AstraZeneca vaccine, even though it has not been approved and the trials are still in progress. You know what all they would have say? Oh, Rowley and Terrence gave me thing that not approved. They're trying to kill us. And then the conspiracy theorists, the ones who think is the mark of the beast, and it have a chip, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And Rowley and Terrence is sheep. That's the word I was using. As we seen you on Facebook, sheep, and they've just following a new world order. Blah blah blah. No, I have a problem. I have a problem with these people, and I'm waiting for this entire thing to blow over. And in about 40 or 50 years, I remember exactly who all of you were. And if Facebook still exists, I'll be writing a status on the anniversary of the COVID panoramic sometime in March. And I will be tagging all of you to ask you all, how come the world did not end. I am waiting. I am waiting. And I want a response. I have the list. So
Yeah.
hopefully
And she will do that.
I will. I'm waiting for a response. So just get all you get. You have 40 or 50 years to get your answer correct. I'm waiting.
And it's so sad because we are looking, this is not the first pandemic the world has experienced.
No.
I wonder if people was behaving like this in
I'm sure they
1919
were.
for the Spanish flu.
I'm
Like,
sure.
oh
It's-
my
at the
God,
end
the
of the day-
mark of the beast.
At the end of the day, it's human nature. I'm sure they will. But my thing is, I mean, okay, if that is the case, if that were the case, what you could do about it? You can't stop it. I mean, if you also believe that this thing has to happen and it will happen, then was the I don't understand what you could do. You can't do anything. It's going to happen. It's going to come to
Yeah,
pass.
so you might as well just relax and make sense and do the responsible thing, which is take the vaccine.
Nobody remember the vaccine have the chip in it.
Girl, I taken my vaccine, yes. I mean, 10 people might have to hold me down for them to inject me, or I might have to get sedated, but I will be taking my vaccine. I'm very sorry.
I taken the vaccine, but after all, yeah.
You're sure right.
After
You're
all, yeah.
sure right.
I ain't
You're
taking it
sure
first.
right. And not, I mean, well, it's too late now for us to take it first because look, all these doctors and
I'm glad.
nurses
Yeah.
have been vaccinated. Okay, so now that you bring it up, who you think in Trinidad and Tobago should receive the vaccine after? Like when we finally get, whenever that is, our batch of vaccine to do mass vaccination. Who you think should get it next?
I think, but if I remember the order of rollout that the health minister and the and Dr. Parasaram put in place, I think it was fair because after the frontline workers, they did the doctors and nurses, I believe, and then they would do frontline workers like police officers and
Yeah.
I don't know, members of other protective services and who they had after government ministers.
I don't know.
I don't think
can't
I'm not
remember
sure
the
if they were
order.
on the list. And then they had like the those at-risk people, like the immunocompromised, which
Yeah.
I think is good because
Yeah.
I mean, our immune system would be at a greater risk
Yeah.
if they get the virus. And after that it's just anybody.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
I
I'ma
think,
tell
I
you.
think it was I don't have a problem with it.
Let me tell you who I think need to get the vaccine after the 4 key categories. Pennywise workers, KFC, Royal Castle,
Yeah,
Church's
because
Chicken
they're dealing with the
workers.
public a lot.
And people always, you ever pass by KFC and see how much people is be inside? COVID, nothing. The place always ram. TT ride share drivers and all the other
Maxi taxi men.
maxi men. And just to segue a little bit, maxi men, we are still supposed to be operating at 75% capacity. Stop filling up all the maxi and telling people duck down when all they see police.
What?
Stop it. You are putting yourselves, your families, and the families of all your passengers at risk. It is nonsense. And people stop going in maxis and taxis that
like,
doing that.
Yeah, you need to be
Wait on our
responsible.
next one.
You need to be responsible.
Anyway, yeah, I think they definitely need the vaccine, especially KFC workers. Because inside almost all KFCs always full with people.
And another thing I forgot to say earlier on when I was talking about what is a vaccine, etc. But we could bring it up now because I spoke about immunocompromise. Like the importance of us, the healthier ones, to take the vaccine, not just to protect yourself, but also to protect those who cannot take the vaccine. There are
Right.
some people with some illnesses who cannot take the vaccine. There are some people with allergies who also
Yeah.
cannot take the vaccine. So the more of us who are able to take it, the more of us that get the vaccine, we will also be able to protect them because then it wouldn't be able to propagate like the way that it's doing now.
Yeah.
It will slow it down.
Right, and it will kind of foster what they're hoping to achieve, which is herd
Herd
immunity.
immunity.
So as you mentioned, herd immunity, I want to know if you think that post mass vaccination, would we still need the COVID-19 precautions, or at least this level of precaution? What do you think?
Well, when I say mass vaccination, because I read an article about a month ago, I can't remember who wrote the article, and they were, I think is it business? I think it was some Business Insider, and they were saying that it will take, I think it was 5 or 7 years for everything to go back to normal as we know it, not the new normal, but normal, and that is because it will take that amount of time to get 70 to 75% of the entire
Global
world's
population.
population vaccinated.
Wow.
So I think that one of the things that we should definitely keep is the hand washing, because let me tell you something. We have been living life on the edge, doing some of the most filthy, like just basic things that you don't think about. You would go out the road, in a shop, you touch up the door handle that everybody touch the dirty money, buy a snack, you open the snack, you start to eat it, so you ain't wash your hand yet. And not just washing your hands in general, but before you enter business establishments, because people is be doing some real nasty things. Like, you all have no clue. Like, people is be doing some very nasty things, and then they come and they touch all the surfaces. They go in the grocery, they touch up all the food, they touch all the clothes on the racks. So that's definitely something that we should keep the hand washing for sure.
Yeah, because to be quite honest with you, even with the hand washing requirements, imagine I went to the bank the other day, and girl, outside Republic Bank and the Promenade Center, they have the sinks on the outside facing the road where everybody could see you. So girl, I washing my hand by one sink. This man come in, he holding his wallet in his other hand. Zena, this is how the man wash his hand under the pipe.
The same thing happened to me. I went to Massey on the highway there, Takarigo.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing, and it's because, all right, like the other Massey stores that I've been to, they have like security guards right by where the hand washing station is. But that one, because I guess it's on this whole big compound, the security guards don't really dedicate it to Massey. So it don't really have anybody watching you. And I was washing my hands, this man come and he literally did this. Like, he just do that by the pipe and then do so at the side. And this was, like, we was deep into COVID. This is like this time last year, like March, April 2020.
When
and that was what he was
panicking.
Doing then.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even want to go in the grocery after that, because how much people have washed their hands.
Yeah, and then too, we need to really, one thing we need to definitely keep to in terms of sanitizing items when we purchase it, especially food items, because what a lot of people don't realize, they feel because when they buy it in the grocery, the AC make it cold, so that means it was in cold storage. No, it was in a dirty warehouse, that some of them have rats and cockroaches.
And cockroaches that only come out when the lights off.
So wipe down all your groceries. Still, please remember, people, sanitize everything. You see Lysol back on the shelves. I mean, it's quite expensive, but they have all the other alternatives, like that. What is called?
I don't know
the
the
other
brands.
ones. I'm not giving nobody no free promotion. But yeah, utilize the soap and water. It's necessary and required. And we still, don't let nobody fool you, we are still in a pillory.
How much people do you have? You just
We
read
still-
the P section in the dictionary.
Yeah, well, we had to do something to kind of pass the time with this pandemic. We are still deep in a pandemic, people. Wash your hands, sanitize, stand 6 feet apart, give me some room, please.
That is something I think they should keep the 6 feet distance. We can keep that. I have no problem, because people just be up in your bottom.
Yeah. And
This
this
we
is
up-
not Juve morning.
And I'm talking, this is before the pandemic, but
Yeah.
even now, like, why can't you stand at your 6 foot marker in the grocery line or in the bank line? Why are you up underneath me?
And they
There's
vex when you tell
literally
them
a
move.
law that says stay 6 feet apart, and you're up in my face.
I go and get a ruler and start to measure, yes? So anytime anybody
And
wants to
more
be
vex
breathing.
than you when you let them know
Yeah.
I need some room.
Especially some certain members of our population, a certain group of them. They always up under you like, the cashier is not going to close. You made it in the grocery before closing time. You are safe. Step back and give me some room, please. I beg.
But
Jeez.
the mask wearing, I really ready to get rid of that because
For sure.
like it's annoying.
Yeah. And we need to get back our places open after 10.
Yeah, like my belly does only start to growl after 10 p.m. 10:01 and thing, I just start to feel real hungry. No, I don't understand. I don't understand. But yeah, so, I mean, of course, everybody will be waiting for everything to open back up. For parties, don't mind Somalia having your underground parties. But yeah, definitely carnival for all, the business spaces to be functioning as normal. And like those kind of things, it'll be real cool to open back. What I think is also, one of the good things that came out as a result of the COVID, as a result of the entire pandemic, and I think that we touched on it last time, was the advancements that we put in place, like having a lot of things digitized and just the ease of access of information or even government services, or being able to, like, literally everybody, even Royal Castle started to deliver.
Yep.
So
the days of signs and miracles and wonders are not yet over.
So that was pretty good, but
yeah,
definitely, those things could stay, and we could get rid of the mask. That's
for sure. But until then, people, we need to hold some strain in terms of waiting for this vaccine. Please stop spreading conspiracy theories. We are too big for that. Come on, it's 2021. I thought we left all the foolishness in 2020, but apparently not. You all are still committed to spreading wrong information and giving wrong impressions. So I would invite all of you, all of the information that we would have shared earlier on, we would have obtained from legitimate sources like WHO's website, CDC website, different... PAHO, Business Insider. You could check it out. I mean, Google is free for now, still. Utilize it.
You want to put the links?
We could put the links for
we kind of spoon feed all it this time.
Yeah, you're welcome in advance.
So we put the links at the bottom of the video so you all can check it out.
And we need to stop being so close-minded and only thinking that the world revolves around us. Contrary to what most of us believe in Trinidad and Tobago, we are not the center of the universe. We need to understand how global dynamics are and where we really fall in terms of where we are in terms of how we are looked at in the countries. We need to understand global dynamics and realize where Trinidad and Tobago actually ranks in terms of countries. Order of priorities obviously given to those with more money, more power, and bigger population.
Yeah.
So now is not the time to be playing Twitter wars with our Caribbean neighbors. I mean, it's entertaining. It's always entertaining, especially when we war in the Bajans and Jamaicans, but now is not the time. We need to stay safe. We need to just wait for our vaccine. And, in the meantime, turn out and ride out this panoramic together. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Yep, that's it. So stay tuned, guys. We'll have a new video for you on Saturdays. Honestly, we have to apologize, but so far it has been every other Saturday rather than every Saturday.
Yeah.
But we will get it going very soon. So
we'll do better.
Every other Saturday, you look out for us. Remember to like, share, subscribe.
Tell all your friends and tell all your tanties in the Misinformed Tanties Association who keep sharing wrong information on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Let them put the link for this video.
And
instead of all those ridiculous articles. Yeah.
Good morning pictures and whatnot.
So somebody get the ball rolling with sharing it, and trust and believe by next week, Wednesday, the whole of Trinidad would have received the link for this video.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Till next time.